All right, thank you for that, Tammy. My guest tonight knows all about the candidates because they are, quite literally, running in his backyard. Jeffrey Graham is the mayor of Watertown, also the host of a North Country talk radio program. Now, Mayor Graham is an independent politician. He has not endorsed either candidate, but that doesn't mean he has not weighed in on the election and the way it's all but taken over his town. You see him there live. We'll talk to him in a second. First, though, have a listen to what the mayor had to say about all of this hoopla in his community on his radio show just last Friday.
Mudslinging, name-calling, upstate versus downstate, neighbor against neighbor. This special election is driving us all mad! And the maddest of us all is the mad prophet of the airwaves, Watertown Mayor and host of the Hotline, Jeff Graham!
Well, Joe, you better believe I'm mad. I'm more than mad as hell, you know. Joe, I used to be happy. A month ago, I thought I was happy. I had a house, a car, 4 jobs, 3 dogs. I could go out to eat a pizza every night in peace. But I'm not happy anymore. Because after this campaign, I know it's bad out there, Joe. It's bad. You know it's bad. You feel it every day in the 48th.
Yes, that's just a snippet of a rather long rant. So from the radio airwaves to our television screen, Mayor Jeffrey Graham. Many thanks for joining us tonight, sir.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much.
So obviously having some fun with all of this, but I can't help but wonder if it isn't an accurate sentiment. Look, we've been covering this from Albany, from Syracuse, from Rochester. People everywhere are watching this. You see it playing out each and every day. Are you guys as sick and tired of it as you seem to be?
Well, I think people are looking forward to Wednesday when the carnival leaves town. Listen, for folks up here in Watertown, the idea that over $4 million is being spent on a Senate race in the middle of winter is a bit odd, and I'm not sure they really catch on to all the nuances of a proxy fight between the governor and Senator Bruno. So to the folks up here, they just think they're electing a representative in many cases, and all of this seems rather over the top.
Well, let me ask you about that. I'm curious about what the voters up there are thinking. As Tammy Palmer just indicated in our last piece, there are real issues in this race for the constituents up there, jobs, the economy. But everybody else watching from outside the border of the 48th district is thinking all about that proxy fight you just talked about, the balance of power in state government. How much is each a concern for your community? Is it jobs, or is it this idea that you guys could help single-handedly change the power structure of our state?
I'm not sure people have that on their mind. I think what this race comes down to in a greater sense, if you know the geography, it's really 2 districts. There's Oswego County, which is kind of politically and media-wise tuned into Syracuse, and then Jefferson and St. Lawrence County that are more tuned to the Watertown and the North Country. And I think what's happened in this is you've had candidates who are sitting members of the Assembly from opposite ends of the district, and where I think the Republicans perhaps didn't serve Mr. Barkley as well as they could have was rather than come up in the northern part of the district and introduce him, they decided they were going to take out Darrell Aubertine with a series of negative ads. And I think what happened is the impression that was left in the northern part of the district was not as favorable as the Barkley camp would like. Meanwhile, the Barkley camp kept mentioning Aubertine's name down in Oswego County, so he got a lot of name recognition there. I think that's why this race is closer. You know, on paper, this should be a slam dunk for the Republicans. They have a 34,000 voter edge in registration, but all the polls say it's just about even. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I really do think some of the tactics in the campaign have affected it.
Well, let me ask you about that then, okay? Because as you indicate, the polls up there do indicate this is super close. It's very tight, within the margin of error on some polls, leaving it anybody's guess exactly how it will turn out. But why is that the case? Because as you indicated, the Republicans, this should be a cakewalk for the Republicans given their huge enrollment advantage, and it's not. In a year when Governor Eliot Spitzer is not an extraordinarily popular guy, why is it that the Democrat is surging?
Well, I think Republicans early on came to the conclusion they could use the driver's license issue and the governor's lack of popularity as sort of the hammer to knock down Aubertine. Unfortunately, I think, especially in the northern half of the district, Mr. Aubertine comes across as an affable, well-liked, respected character, and I'm not sure all of those particular monikers they threw at him stuck. On the other hand, I don't think anyone has any misconception of the fact that the Barkley family is certainly prominent in Oswego County, and about half the votes normally come out of Oswego County in this Senate district. So there's nothing to suggest Will Barkley is crippled in this campaign because of what the polls indicate. He still is in a very strong position, but it is competitive going into the final day.
Yeah, Mr.